Hey guys, Valerie Hunt here with RunRx coming to you live on Wednesday. So this is going to be our regular thing, and I look forward to getting questions from you that I can respond to. And then I was going to tell you guys about our upcoming October challenge, which we'd love to have you be a part of. And basically, what we're trying to educate people on is just running pain-free. Our mission is that simple. It's just to help you get back out to running or continue running wherever you are in your running and enjoy it pain-free. And I wish I could say, hey, I've got this magic little thing, and I do have a magic thing. However, it's called hard work. So we have found really what the balance is skill, strength, and self-care to run pain-free. That's essentially what I do. And the way you do the skill is you do it through really fun, I like them, little skill drills. Like there's a simple way to practice so you get better at the skill, right? Because running is a skill. Yeah, I mean, it's a movement and it's something I can improve upon. So if it's something I can get better at, that means it's a skill. And then strength. So I need strength to be able to maintain my run, basically I need to be able to support my body weight while I go running. I need to be able to hold my shoulders over my hips while I run, whatever the speed or distance. And by the way, not even just in running, I should be able to hold a nice line when I'm walking, when I'm standing. So what's fun is the practice that you do to move better as a runner also helps you move better just through life, through whatever movement, because movement has a similarity for everything we do. And the other thing is with the strength, I'm not talking about lifting a bunch of weights. I'm talking about just your body weight, just functional body weight movement and having fun with how I move. I think a lot of us are very much and I was too, just so you know, I've been lifting weights for my whole life. I've been running for years and years and years and years. And me too, the whole culture of running, the whole culture of strength training, we got really stuck on thinking that muscles do the work, and they do not. Muscles support us, and they give us the ability to work. But the reality is that there's a method to movement, and it's about basically working within the frames of gravity, believe it or not. So what's fun, what I teach, what we learn, is how to work within that framework in the correct poses, right? There's a running pose, which that's my main thing, right? We use the pose method of running. There's a running pose. We use gravity to free fall. We pull our foot. There we are back in the running pose, minimizing time on ground and injury potential. Because if I'm here, this is half my body weight as I fall forward and pull, I recover pose, and it's 53% reduction of impact. The second my foot, if I don't know that, and I just stick my foot out like a lot of people do, this is 3 times my body weight. 3 times my body weight. I don't even like to demonstrate it. Versus half. But in order to do that, I have to first practice the movement, right? So it's like if I was gonna learn, I don't know, how to play guitar, then I would just walk in the guitar store, buy a really awesome guitar, and I'm sure that because it was an expensive, really good guitar, I'd be really good at it. Probably not. The guy would be like, well, you might want to take a few lessons, right? So if you start to think about running as training that way, that every time you run, it's an opportunity to improve on your skill, well, the lessons are really like in your warm-up, in your recovery, in your strength practice, right? So our challenge to you is going to be basically how to incorporate skill, strength, and self-care into your training to stay pain-free. And the fun part is this. Well, I'm gonna say fun. I have learned over the years that what I consider fun might not be your consideration of fun. However, if my goal is simply to enjoy a good run without pain, then it really can be fun. So most of us, again, we've been thinking in our running and any of our movements of like, I need to pump my arms, or I need to reach my legs, or push off the back. These are all unnecessary actions. And so when you learn a correct action and you learn what to do, it eliminates things I don't need to do. So the greatest part is if I'm always training on what should I be doing, then I will always be getting better because I'm only working on what I need to be doing instead of thinking about things that don't make any sense and are not important. Like, where am I putting my foot? Not important. Because I promise you that if you pull this foot up, the other foot will drop. So let's play a little game. So this is kind of fun. It's a great introduction to running. So I'm going to face you, and if you're watching, face me. Just stand up wherever you are. If you have the opportunity, see if you could find a line. Like I have a line I can stand on. But otherwise, just stand. Doesn't matter. Just stand on your leg. So my body weight is on this leg. Now I'm standing in the running pose, but we'll talk about that later. I just want you to focus on only one thing. I'm going to ask you one question. Can you pull this foot up from the ground before the lifted foot lands? All right? 3, 2, 1, go. How do I know if I did or didn't? Well, if I look down, I should be pretty much on the line that I started on. So I want to try that again now that you kind of know the answer. Okay, so find a line. Just stand on a line. Don't worry about it. Just find one you've got. All right? You can't look at it. Can't look at it. Balance however you can balance. Keep that knee bent a little bit. Body weight's on the ball of the foot. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Woo! Regain that balance. Regain that balance. Now look down. Are you on the line? Check. If you are, good for you. If you didn't get on the line, that's okay because you can correct, right? You can correct it. And then you can do it again. Pull and look down and check. You see a very simple way to start training for running with a fun exercise that's also going to improve your balance, your coordination, and your relationship with gravity, because it's a relationship. For me to be able to understand how to move through space, I have to just respect that I am working within a framework, right? So if I'm going to learn correct movement, so I'm in the optimal running pose, and I just allow my body to free fall, and I simply pull my foot up before my other foot landed. See, I'm right back in that running pose. And your body is very happy because it's doing what it was meant to do. We all have this blueprint. We're all born with it. Your hamstring knows how to do this already. It's not learning anything. Muscles don't need to be taught. They know how to work. It's us that needs to practice movement so we get comfortable with actually working less, right? And so I find that for a lot of us, we don't really pay attention to the training aspect until something hurts. And of course, I'm RunRx, Run Pain Free, so most people don't reach out to me until it hurts. So then they come in and they're like, oh, give me a stretch for my planters or my calf or my shin splint. And I'm like, okay, I will give you a stretch, I promise. But first we have to work on the running itself, right? And the fun part is, just like what we just did, simple drill. And the fun part is if you're with an accountability partner or especially a coach, then you get feedback on, did I do that correctly? So all we just did was worked on balance and understanding that I need to pull my foot up before the lifted foot lands. But there's a whole process to getting more comfortable with your skill. And the fun part is if you work with me, of course, I give you feedback. But this whole month of October, I'm still going to give you a chance to work with me. So I'm going to give you like basically a week of a skill, a strength, and a self-care for you to do. And then next week, when we'll start it in October, I'll go over it and I'll ask if you've checked in, and we'll do it through the comments of the live so we can keep conversation going. I would love for other people to comment and start to see what that feels like. What does it feel like to actually practice my movement for running, right? And then how does strength work in this? I'm not, it's again, it's not like we're gonna get weights and do 3 sets of 10 of a bicep or a muscle work. We're gonna work as a body, as a unit. And so I'm gonna teach you guys a few great exercises. Very simple, very simple. In fact, we're gonna do one right now that I'm gonna teach you. And it's just a very basic lunge, right? And the reason is that you'd wanna learn a lunge is simply because when you're running, you're on one foot. So the more strength I can have on this foot and stability in my hip, then guess what? Say I have a knee pain in my run, or I have a hip pain, or I have foot pain, any pain. For most people, it's simply because they're on the ground too long. That's it. It doesn't really matter if you're a heel striker or I land like this or, oh my gosh, I went to the shoe store and the guy told me I pronated. The only reason any of that is happening, guys, is simply because instead of pulling your foot up, you are in fact reaching for the ground. So if my foot's out here, that's you doing that. If you simply pull, 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 you will get on down the road and you're just using what's called muscle elasticity. So we're going to teach you a little lunge, okay? So all you're going to do here is separate your feet, just like that. All right, now what I want you guys to do, you don't have to go any lower. This isn't a full, this is again, a little bit different kind of strength training, right? So I can bring my feet closer or I can have them here. I'm going to have them here because I am trying to get you to see. But if I've never done this before, I would prefer that my foot is here so that I can do the movement without any kind of stress, all right? So everything I do, you can be anywhere in your running journey. You can also hold on to the wall. But let me separate my feet just a little bit. So first what I want you to do is find your body weight on the ball of your feet, right? On this one and on this one. I'm gonna hold my shoulders over my hips. So here's what's really fun. We're going to take our front foot and we're gonna do 5 pulls to close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang out. Now, that was kind of like, that was strange. I don't really know what I was doing. That's okay. Here, I'm going to tell you how to do it again. All right, we're going to give you a little bit more control this time. So my body weight is in this foot, but as soon as I pick it up, it's going to be in my back foot. So what I want you to do right now is you can have your back foot flat. It's a lot easier to be here, but try it flat for me. Just flatten the foot. Hold your shoulders over your hips. Now we're going to do 5 pulls. Bring your ankle to your leg. Ready? 5 pulls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Now switch your feet. Separate your feet, holding shoulders over hips. Body weight's in the ball of the foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. We're going to do that one more time. Now, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. Now we just did 5 lunges, right? They're lunge pulls is what they're called. Now we just did those lunges. There was a really nice way to work your shoulders and hips. When you go through the challenge with me, it makes a lot more sense because it's part of other movements. But now, go back to that drill that we just did. So stand just like you are. Be on your line. Now 3, 2, 1, pull. Ready, pull. Ready, pull. One more time, pull. So you just did like a skill and strength combination. Took about 2 minutes. When you get into working with me or into the training program, what you start to find, so what I do, the way the membership works, or if you came in, I look at your running, I take you through daily practice that includes skill, strength, and self-care to make sure you are practicing and progressing correctly. What I'm going to do for us for this challenge is I'm going to give you, probably not as challenging as I gave you there, but just so you know, that movement does go into eventually a full lunge. But you've got to start where you can, and that's just balancing. Really, all we did there was get you to be balanced in the running pose. See, everything has purpose. When you start to train with purpose, we can make everything harder. We can add and we can progress. But first you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. That's the other fun thing. So everything has a bit of a purpose. Same thing, if I practice pulling my foot up, I'm getting comfortable with when I run, that's my job in running. Same with like doing hops. I do hops so I can develop muscle elasticity. All of a sudden, everything that I'm doing has an intent and a purpose behind it. And it changes how you feel about movement, how you feel about going for a run, how you feel about your training. And what you start to realize is some of these injuries we have isn't because we have tight hips, which we do, or tight hamstrings, or, you know, these part of life. Maybe we all sit a lot, we have a tight neck. So that's the other thing. We have to do the self-care for all of that. The self-care is for life, to make sure we have full range of motion, to make sure everything is working right. But the reality is most of our injuries are simply coming because we haven't practiced just what is pose, what is fall, what is pull, what are the elements of the gait cycle. And then we start to practice that. Then we start to add the strength that goes behind it, and then the stretching and the self-care. So we'll do a simple stretch to finish out. I'm going to not keep you all day, but let's just sit on our feet. Just sit right back here. Now say that this is not comfortable for you right now. You could put a pillow here. You could be here. Or if you simply cannot be on your knees, that's okay too. Just take one foot and open. We got to open this ankle, okay? So you can stay wherever you need to stay. If you've been down here for just a second, this is great for shin splints. Really nice to open the ankles. Now just curl your toes under, sit back so my toes are curled under. This is for the plantar, same thing. If I can't get down, I just do the same thing right here. You've got to make sure your toes are nice and flat on the ground, and then you open the foot. There should be zero tension in this calf. It's not a calf stretch, it's for the plantar. Come up nice and slow, and just wiggle your toes for just a minute. Take your feet, roll them out and in. So you see, you just did a tiny little skill, strength, and self-care, just like that, less than 10 minutes. That's the daily practice and the daily fun, except that there's intent behind it. So you have to understand kind of why you're practicing what you practice. And I'm telling you, the more you let go of things that are unnecessary in your run, then you will really find that you're simply running. That's the fun. So instead of worrying about, you know, what are my muscles doing, or where's the ground, or things that we don't even realize we're wondering, you simply start to focus on, it's one movement, it's just pulling, you're falling forward, and it's a fun, responsive, it's a response instead of an action, I guess is a good way to say it. So then every time you go running, you'll start to think, ooh, I get to practice. I look forward to actually running. And you know, a lot of us, by the way, I'll end with this, if you do have an injury, absolutely, working on this is how you recover, and not just recover, but prevent. Because you're gonna build this strong foundation, you're gonna come back with better movement, right? We're gonna help you get rid of what is it that sets you back in your running. I mean, I know how many people say to me, I used to run, but my knees, or I really wanna run, but I get to mile 5, and my calf, you know. So this is all these conversations that I have all the time, and I always think, gosh, you just come in for, you know, come into some skill training for just a few months, and we do, I think we, a few months, forever, but if you just start to change your mindset and start letting go, your run becomes what you want it to be, right? That's the fun. But I promise you that is the magic. The magic is in the consistency of the practice, and it just integrates into your run. So I would love to have you guys, the way that you want to do the challenge is all you have to do is I won't bother you except to give you the work. Go through the quiz online. If you haven't already taken the quiz, it's a really fun way to get some information on, if I am hurting, am I reaching, am I pushing, am I leaning, am I marching? So take the quiz, it's a fun little way again, just to gives you a little tip for yourself. But it also gets you, it will get you on the list for the accountability challenge. You'll get it through your email. You'll get it through your email. And then every Wednesday I'm gonna come on and I'm gonna do something with you and I'm gonna answer questions. So this will be your opportunity to talk to me and give me feedback on how it's going, how it feels. Because that's a big part of it is being able to, hey guys, is being able to get feedback, right? It's one thing to be like, I'm watching, I think I'm doing it. How do you know? It's very challenging because it's not just a movement. Like if we were never gonna move and all we had to do was sit here in place, we'd all get it. It's when we go travel that some of the things change, right? So it's fun that you can practice in place, that's the best part, but being able to have someone either give you feedback, look at you, and help you with developing perception and awareness is really how you'll get to that goal. So please join the challenge. It's going to be a great time, and I'll see you every Wednesday. Please ask questions and have some fun with it. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.